camp go, I guess, for you and the defense?
It was pretty good. Just a lot of hard work we put in before training camp. We set goals and we attacked them every single day at training camp, from Costa Mesa to here. We just put in a lot of work. I'm proud of all the guys, and now we got the season coming up.
What's your focus for yourself personally this offseason? Where are you trying to improve?
Just improving mentally, just so I could play faster when I'm out there. I felt like a little bit of last year. Just wasn't as locked in mentally, just the ins and outs of the game, studying quarterbacks, studying offenses and schemes like that. Of course, it's something I've always done, but I took that extra step this year to be able to go out there and play a little bit faster.
The difference between the college and the NFL level in that aspect, was it like surprising to you or something?
Yeah, definitely a little bit surprising just in terms of the speed of the game and how much more efficient the NFL is. And the quarterback play is super exceptional in the league as well. Those are all things that you got to account for.
Can you see and feel a difference based on the focus that you put on it and then the results that you're starting to see?
No, absolutely, absolutely. Every single day, I put in a lot of work. Like I said, just improving my mental towards the game, and it's still work to be done. It's never gonna stop as long as I'm in the NFL and as long as the season is going.
There wasn't a whole lot of change to that safety room, so you're coming into your second year with a lot of the same guys. Can you just talk about the chemistry you guys have in that room and how they approach you out?
A lot of good chemistry. I'm great friends with all those guys in there. And just bringing GA in, our safeties coach, he's been a good addition to us as well, and he helps mesh that group even much more.
Where has GA helped you out the most?
Like I said, the mental part of the game. GA, he's all about developing players, and that's something I really, really appreciate from him. He's changed my game a lot ever since he stepped into this building, and he's a very great coach.
What's it mean for a young guy trying to learn the game like yourself to have, Trayvon and Marcus in that room?
Obviously, two very super talented, super smart guys, and I take the opportunity every day to be able to learn from them ever since I stepped into those buildings. Those are guys that I look up to, and like I said, they go out there on Sundays and ball all the time, and that's something I aspire to do as well.
At Georgia, things were happening for you. And I would imagine that you get to the NFL, it requires a little bit of patience sometimes.
Absolutely.
To let things happen and come together. Is that something that was easy or hard for you?
I would say it was easy because I went through something similar at Georgia. Obviously, the program that UGA was, it's hard to come in there and start as a freshman, so I had to wait my turn and put in a lot of work, and I had a lot of vets to look up to when I got in there as well. So it was easy. It's always obviously you always want to be able to contribute, but like I said, I just come in and work hard every day and make sure I'm prepared for when my opportunity comes.
Your opportunity to become your most extensive action last year was obviously in a pretty good game for the team against the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what was that experience like to be part of, an extensive part of such a big game?
Yeah, that was a crazy game. Just down to everything. It just seemed like everything was going right for us, and all the chips fell in our hand, and we just went out there and performed to the best of our ability. Obviously it was a crazy experience overall for sure. Definitely, probably one of the top 3 craziest games I've been a part of.
Had some exceptional moments in training camp on special teams, just kind of running down on coverage.
Yep.
But the new revamped rule, how much of an emphasis now do you even put more on special teams and carving your role there?
Always been an emphasis for me ever since I've been in college. I always take pride in being a special teamer and helping the team in any way that I can. Like I said, I always want to be able to contribute in any little way possible, and that's what I try to do every day.
Obviously,
How different?
Go ahead.
How different or how similar a player is Zamir now that he's the guy?
Oh, he's
you guys go back to.
He's like the same to me for real. Like he always runs hard. He comes to work every day. Doesn't say too much. He just goes out there and gets the job done in every single facet. Real down to earth guy, high character guy. He's pretty much the same as I remember from UGA. Just the same great player as well.
You get the sense though from him that he feels that his time is now.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, Zamir puts in a lot of hard work every single day, day in and day out, and I'm sure we'll see it when the season comes around.
You were there when Brock Bowers showed up as well. Was that some guy from California shows up and all of a sudden he's balling like he was? What was that like when you guys first kind of got an eyeball on him?
From the first day I seen Brock, I knew he was a pro. Just like I said, similar to Zamir, just the way he carries himself. A guy that comes in and doesn't say much at all, just goes goes hard and goes to work. And like I see, I seen Brock make a lot of spectacular plays all the way back from the University of Georgia to now. So it's no surprise to me what he's become and what he's going to be.
Since we're on the Georgia topic so much, they have Clemson this weekend. The last Clemson-Georgia game, you kind of made the one only big play. Was that a big moment for you in terms of saying like waiting your turn and having?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was a tremendously big moment. Just going back to that whole kind of game, it was like a defensive throwdown, and for me to have the only touchdown of that game, it was super special. I had my mom and my sister in the building, and my brother he played for Kansas State at the time. And earlier that day, he had like a super long interception or whatever. And my dad went to that game, so everybody texting me like, you know, you got to do the same thing. Like, you got to do the same thing your brother did. So for me to have that pick six and for us to have an interception both on the same day in pretty big games, that was super special for both of us and our family. And it was a pivotal moment for our team at that point.
What's your favorite thing about playing for Coach Pierce?
Obviously, Coach Pierce, he's a hell of a guy. Just down to how he carries himself, the way he leads the team and whatnot. It's definitely one of my favorite things about him. He's a guy that I could look up to and understand, and he teaches the game in a certain way that many don't teach it. So that's something I'm definitely appreciative with Coach Pierce, and like I said, I got a great relationship with him.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I know you talked about, making that transition to receiver. You played it before, but it's been a long time. What was the most helpful for you with trying to learn the tricks of the trade, throughout OTAs and coming into training camp?
I think it's just the other receivers, like, just helping me out along the way. Anytime they see me during practice or, like, after practice watching film, they just let me know, like, little tips to do. And Coach EB, too, just helping me out, just keeping me going and just telling me stuff I need to work on the most, to be successful in this league. So.
Been through this process before. You're making a team,
Right.
and I know they don't throw a big party for you or anything like that. But when did you kind of get an idea that okay, this is going to work out right now?
I think I just got the idea just during training camp, continue to work, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I was getting better and better every day. So, just going through this process, it was tough, but, I felt like I did a pretty good job during camp, during the preseason. So, I was pretty confident going into this weekend, but, you never know in this league, so.
When you got in the end zone twice, did you feel it as like, all right, I'm gonna be in the 53?
No, I still wasn't, because you never know in this league. I still wasn't, certain that I was going to be on the 53 because, we have so many great players on this team. But, I was confident in my game that, I was still going to have a job somewhere in the NFL, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what it was.
Tom Telesco today said that guys that make this initial 53 man, he doesn't have those conversations with them. They just should feel like they're coming to work all day. So how did you find out that you were on this initial 53 man?
Actually, I didn't find out until I got to the building. I was waiting because, you get that call, but I never got a call or a text from anyone. So I'm like, I knew we had a meeting today at 1 o'clock. So I'm like, man, let me just go to the building, see what's going on. So I got here and I was here. So that's about it, man.
Did that kind of infamous Jets Hard Knocks clip go through your mind? Like, I hope I don't try to get in and the door's
And
locked.
then, actually, my dad was talking about that. He was like, did you see that clip? I was like, yeah, I saw it. I was like, hopefully they don't do it to me when I get there. So, yeah, that was going through my mind. Actually, that's crazy.
You kind of took a chance on yourself by going up to Canada, but and who knows how that would have worked out. But in retrospect, now that you look back on it, how big was that for you to kind of open some people's eyes in that league?
I felt like it was very big. I would say probably the most important decision I made in my life to go into Canada because I knew when I was in Denver, I didn't get to play in the preseason, so it was tough for teams to really evaluate me, knowing I hadn't played and just going off my college film. So making that move, it was difficult, but I feel like it was the best decision I ever made in my life. So
There's been some players who've had great careers coming from the Canadian League. Warren Moon and Jeff Garcia, just to name a few. Did you take inspiration from any of the stories from guys that jumped from the Canadian League to the NFL?
I do. I watch a lot of guys around the league that's been in the Canadian Football League, like Alex Singleton, that's in Denver, and also D. Alford, I think for Atlanta Falcons. He played in the CFL, so I watch those guys and success they have now in the league, and I just kind of figure I can have the same success if I come here and just do my work, do my job. So.
Did you have to get talked into it at all? Maybe your agent, like, hey, this is the right move right here, or did you feel like that was the right move?
My agent mentioned it, you know what I'm saying, and he kind of took me through, the ins and outs of what we could do. So when he brought it up, and he felt like I had no other option, he felt like that was the best option for me. I sat down with my family, and we figured it would be the best option for me too. So.
Clearly, you look back on it fondly, so it's the best decision you ever made. What do you enjoy the most about playing in Canada?
I think just the overall game, because it's so offensive, minded, because it's the big field and you get 12 people on the field. So I felt like they live for the big plays over there. So I felt like my game translated very well over there. So.
After you get to the building and you go to the meeting, what's the first call you make that you tell, hey, I made it?
I called my mom. Man, I called my mom, and she was just so excited, man. She almost cried. I think she probably did cry when I got off the phone, but I called my mom, then I called my dad, because they know the hard work that I put in and the tough times that I've been through to get here, man. And just making the 53 roster where I come from, that's a big accomplishment, man. So you can't never look down on it. So it was very good. So.
What do you think teams have gotten wrong about you? Like, why did teams miss on you? What do they not understand about you?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I just come in and I do my job every day. I try to get better every day, and I don't worry about what other teams think of me. I just worry about the team that I'm playing for and how I can get better and make them better every day. So.
Did any of the veterans, in the receiver room, Devontae, Jacoby, any of those guys, did they offer up encouragement throughout the process or advice at all, or?
The process of going through.
Just trying to make the roster.
Yeah, they always encourage advice. No matter it's Devontae, Jacoby, even DJ and Trey. Like those guys, they always help me out. Any little thing they can tell me or help me out with, they're doing it. So I appreciate those guys.
Talk about your time in Canada. What comes to mind when you reflect on your journey from prep year to Charleston, and now you find yourself here?
I think just perseverance, man. Just me going through. I feel like I went through everything you can go through to get to this point, man. So I feel like this is great for me. So that's what it is.
You kind of blew up on social media with your performance the other day. People were talking all over about you. Like, you paying attention to that stuff? People sending you videos, clips, all that kind of stuff?
I try not to pay too much attention to it, but when my phone was blowing up, you got no other choice but to look at it. So I was looking at a couple stuff, but I try not to let it get to me. I try to just stay focused with what I got going on right now and just, being the best me. So.
After the punt return, it seemed like you aimed the ball at somebody specific. Was it a friend, a family member?
It was my dad. like I think I told somebody in the locker room after the game, but before the game, my dad told me, he was like, "Look, if you score, look for me and throw me the ball." So that was my main goal on the way to the end zone. I was just, man, let me go find my dad and throw him the ball. I know this is gonna make his day. So.
TV broadcast, Howie Long was being interviewed live when you scored a touchdown. I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
I seen it. Yeah.
And you saw him getting all excited. What does that mean to you, having somebody that means so much to this organization, and you're getting him all excited?
That's amazing, man, because, people don't, do that a lot. So for me to do that on live TV is amazing. So it was a grateful moment, man. It's amazing.
A lot of people were excited, obviously, about the flashy plays and the touchdowns getting to the end zone, but you drew a penalty on special teams as well. I mean, how much pride do you take in those sorts of plays? They're kind of the hard-working ones.
Right, yeah. I take a lot of pride in it, man, because, the more you can do, the longer you'll last in this league. So, I mean, I feel like I didn't play the best game at Gunner, but I feel like, I got a lot to work on, but I did a good job, so just keep getting better with it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Did Gad catch the ball?
How y'all doing?
I know in college you kind of bounce back and forth between linebacker and edge rusher. How are you approaching this offseason, getting ready for the draft, and then landing with the Raiders? Like, the team see you at both spots? Was it automatically linebacker? Like, how did that process?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was prepare for anything. Be ready to play any and everything. Like you said, throughout my career, I played outside, inside backer. So it was just making sure I had those base fundamentals, outside, inside backer, and also preparing for the pro day, again, as big, strong, as fast as I can before I got here. So, I mean, that was the main thing. And then coming up here on a 30 visit, I got to, see the scheme and got to hone in on a little bit more specific stuff that I'd be doing when I got here. So it was perfect.
How did you find out the news today that you were part of the 53?
Yeah, I found out on Instagram, social media, just like everybody else. A bunch of people were texting me, asking me, and they got no response. So, I mean, it was cool today to find out that I could, have a chance to help this team succeed and help this team win. So I'm excited to, get out here and play some football.
The first time you've gone through a situation like that, was there any anxiety or nerves today, or did you feel pretty good about it?
Yeah, I mean, I let my play speak for itself and give it all to God. I mean, that was the main thing. With faith, there's no fear. So, I mean, that was the main thing for me, just to, stay where my feet were and just keep working and keep grinding, and everything else will shake out. So.
You have any sort of conversation with your family or anything, if you get the chance to do that yet, just to get their reaction to making the team?
No, not yet. We had a lot of meetings and stuff today. So, when I'm throughout the day, I'm not really on my phone much. I'm locked in, focused. But I'll definitely, get in touch with them after this and, enjoy for the moment.
At what point growing up was the NFL a thought in your mind?
Yeah, so my dad played for Florida State. He played receiver. And just growing up, seeing my dad, how hard he worked at Toyota at the, car dealerships, I always knew, I wanted to play football for the rest of my life. So, I mean, that was the main thing for me. My dad played with influential people like Deion Sanders. He invited us to the Hall of Fame, and I got to see the whole experience while I was a kid. And I got to see, a lot of the guys talk, Shannon Sharp, Marshall Faulk, and a lot of those guys, and, see what it took to get them there. And, I mean, ever since then, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And watching, 30 for 30 videos, seeing, legacy guys. So, I mean, just put in that work, so I'll be in this position.
Talk about Florida State a little bit. How much did that experience there really shape you, the player you are now, and also Janarius, teammate on that team as well? How much has he been able to help you here in this locker room as well?
A lot. I mean, it took a lot, to get Florida State back to where it is now. I mean, being down there in the dark days, having to, set a whole new standard and having to recruit guys, having to, be that voice, be that, leader in the locker room. So, I mean, it was great to, be able to be a veteran guy and also be a guy that, held the standard and, led by example. So, I mean, it was great to come here and, being a younger guy now to lead by example and let my play talk for itself.
So Janarius also on that team as well.
Yeah. J-Rob, I had J-Rob on my team right there. Pensacola would go out there and help him with his foundation in Panama City. Been helping him. And then we got to go down there with Champ. So got to help Champ with his foundation. So, anytime, you got familiar faces, it's always good.
Okay. Cool.
Appreciate y'all. Yes, sir.